Hey, I'm so glad you joined Dr. Hartshorn and I for a chat. Now, we're talking about milestones in our babies, newborns, toddlers. You know, it's so easy to compare with other parents and their children.
And I think sometimes that can be, a good thing, and that sometimes it can be competitive and a downside about being in a
What are we
mother's
looking
group.
for? What's normal?
Well, I think the first thing to say about development is that there's a range of normal that we accept as being normal. So, there are some babies who walk, for example, if we take that skill, some babies who walk maybe at 9 or 10 months, and yet there'll be some babies that won't walk until they're 18 months, and both can be quite normal babies. So it's important not to get too fixated on one particular skill, but realise that development is a process, and it's different in different babies.
Okay, now we're talking about walking.
Yep.
When should we be concerned if our child is not sitting up or what age?
So look, in terms of walking, I mean, I think I would be concerned and suggest that that you seek a medical opinion from your local doctor if your child is not walking by the time they're about 18 months old.
Okay.
Okay.
They can't stand up.
Yeah, well, standing normally comes a little bit before walking.
Right.
So, I mean, by, let's say, 12 months, your child should be able to stand up holding onto the coffee table. If they can't do that, then once again, I think I'd seek an opinion.
And it's such a great moment for parents. I know
Yes.
a lot of parents take the photo when they've taken their first step and things like that, or even when they've said their first word.
Yes.
So what are we looking for when it comes to our babies communicating?
Communication, yeah. So this is a development that goes right back into the first couple of months of life. The first communications are things like eye contact, cooing noises, oohing and ahhing that happens often around sort of 3 or 4 months. And then after that, where, babbling sort of happens generally between 6 and 12 months, and that's usually when you start to hear your first clear words. Remember that the words, obviously, to start with, are not going to be very clear and sound like what you and I would say, but yeah, that's usually when they come, and generally I would expect by the time a child is 2, that they should have a vocabulary of around 30 to 40 words, and stringing a couple of words, 2 or 3 words together.
Is there anything that we can do to help our child along?
To be honest with you, I think social interaction and reinforcement is really important, and that means be there for your child. Look at them, respond to what they're doing. Look at things that they want to look at, and label them and name them. You can play games, pointing things out in books, or when you're out for a walk.
Yeah. And what about, is there some things that, when should it be a concern?
Well, if we weren't at least meeting that list of 30 or 40 words by the time they're 2, I would be most concerned about their language development. And I think in particular, I would really draw attention to their hearing. So we need to make sure that your child is hearing. And if you're in any doubt, go and get it tested.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Hartshorn, for those tips. Now, I know they will help a lot of parents out there who are struggling with understanding the differences between different children, but don't forget, your child is unique and is wonderfully and fearfully made.